Okay. Okay, so
it's a little loud maybe, but
I can turn it down. It's weird. It's like I keep trying to mess with it again after getting the new computer because I have to check everything and make sure everything is still the same, and it's just not. And I don't remember what my settings were on my mic. Okay, so last session, there were things that happened, and I don't have a recording, so I don't remember everything. However, I do remember that you were leaving the ruin under the water, and before you made it out of the lake to signal the ship, you were working to destroy the abjuration engine that was found within the ruin. Now, while going through multiple different ways to try and destroy it, there was a pulse of magic, and Soli was pulled to her home realm of Benovis, which is a completely different freaking planet. Now, we're all familiar with Benovis for multiple reasons. Session 0.5 was on Benovis with all the giant creatures and the bad shit. And we all know the story of the Drig marching through and killing everybody, and those that didn't kill try to get away. So, after a chase from one of the giant Drig, Amelia found herself hiding in a burrow with a gnome named Beetle. Now, everybody ended up following her thanks to our bard, and located this burrow in one way or another after also being chased by a Drig, in which Beetle just made sure that you were all kind of dragged in and that you could all be reunited because, you know, gotta make sure the team stays together. We left off where everybody was trying to take a long rest. However, I know that there was a little concern about the safety of your dwelling and there being Drig around the area. A little bit of concern. However, is there anything that anybody wanted to do before they went to sleep that we didn't get done last session?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I made it.
Okay. Cool. Let me do a thing.
You missed the recap.
That's okay. Nice doesn't know what the fuck's going on anyways.
I know you're here somewhere. Gotta find you. Okay, cool. Okay. So I was just saying that everybody was going to try and take a long rest, but whether or not everybody does in this very tenuous place with Beetle and her pet beetles and worms and the Drig stomping around, I'm unsure. However, since nobody can really recall anything that happened, we'll just say that everybody, you get a long rest amongst the whispers of Beetle talking to... She does not seem to sleep. She kind of whispers to her critters all night long. But you do wake, and it's still quiet. Beetle is sitting in the middle of the room, and her eyes look unfocused as she's just staring off into nothing.
What are you looking at over there?
Oh, you're awake. Okay, so there's a few things that you really need to know. That is, I've been up all night and I don't really... So the Drig has moved over to the mountain, but it doesn't really take long for it to get there or for it to come back. But it's quite a distance away now, and I don't know where you came from or how you're going to get home, but I would assume that at this very moment you have maybe, 20 minutes to get back to where you came through. If there's like a door or something that you walked through, I don't really know how that works.
Nemu, how long does it
play? I can try to play my song.
Nemu, how long does that
work.
take?
I don't know. How long is the song? 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
Back in my day, 450. No, I wouldn't say that.
If you're Metallica, 10 minutes?
So we're
Well,
10 minutes to get back to where we were, and then 10 minutes to play a song.
No. I can play the song a lot faster than 10 minutes. I'm sure I can find a condensed version to make.
Where do you wish to travel to?
Back where we traveled from.
So right back to the engine.
No, we were on the boat.
Oh, on the boat. Got it. Okay. So right back to the boat.
Yeah, I would say that'd probably be the easiest thing to do anyway, right? Maybe not. I mean, it's a moving target.
About. We could do it here, but we might end up at the bottom of the lake.
What was their next play after this?
Well, there's a few things. Back in Entora, EOA still has his swords he has to retrieve. Dorus has a meeting with, or you all have a meeting with the council, the Spherius Council representatives.
Yeah, I'd say we go back to that place.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just go straight back there. Be the easiest thing to do.
Okay. So if you wish to focus on your room at the Leaky Fig, roll performance.
Dorus, did that place have like a jingle?
I do not believe they had music. Really, they had no instruments or any stage or anything of this kind.
We should come up with the tune so we can easily teleport back.
I rolled a 30, so
Never mind, he's good.
I'm hoping we're good enough.
So as
Maybe he writes him a jingle.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
The leaky fig bop. So as Nemu begins to play his song and the sound envelops everybody, you all begin to move in closer, and you can almost smell the small garden that he has out back. The smell of the clean 800 count sheets and the old curtains, and everything shimmers for a brief moment, and you hear Beetle, "Oh, okay, bye! Don't forget me, bye!" As you all just suddenly appear in wherever Nemo's room was in the Leaky Fig.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's been like a month and a half. It feels like.
It does feel like that. So you all appear in a room in the Leaky Fig. You are fully rested. You have approximate time of day, kind of. The sun does seem to be out, so there is sunlight coming in through the window, but you have no idea how long you've been gone, what time of day it truly is, or where Soli, Clone, and Kea are.
Nemu, can you tell where the ship is? And if they're still out in the lake?
What do I look like, a wizard to you?
Yes.
Nope.
Didn't you have like a message?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me rummage through my book.
Your spell book.
Ah, yes. Page 30. Got it. Sending. Let me burn another spell slot. Hold on a second. Okay. So I'll just send a message. Where are you? We are back in... Where are we? What's the name of it? The Leaky Fig.
Those were like 5 words.
I've got more spell slots. It's fine. I'm used to burning them on useless crap. It's okay.
I like
you're
how
finally
the rest
back.
of that was also in the.
I know. You're finally back. I was so worried about you. We are in the council rooms. We have been here for 3 days.
How long did you wait for us?
Yeah, how long have we been gone?
Are you sending another message?
I mean, we
Yes.
can just walk there
You could.
and find
Yeah, I'll
out.
send another message.
You have been missing for 5 days. Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to be interested in speaking much.
I'll tell everybody that we've been gone for 5 days. So it's not too bad.
I hope that guy didn't sell my swords.
Probably not. Okay, so are we going back to the council? To Entora proper? Okay. As you head downstairs, Dorus, the first thing you see is Nerald. And his eyes get massive as you all come down the stairs because he knows you weren't there last night. And he knows you couldn't have all snuck in. And he just points to a corner you can't see from the stairwell. So you come down, peek
Can I
around the
insight
corner.
check him? Is he warning us about danger, or is he?
Yeah, you can insight check him.
Well,
12. He doesn't seem scared. He's just like, what the fuck? And there's somebody here for you, which makes it doubly weird for him. He's just a little weirded out.
yeah, I try and reassure him as I come down the stairs. Then Doris is like, "I'm sorry, my friend. This is a safe space for us. It is, maybe too easy for us to drop in on you from time to time."
You know, I would have had food ready if you would have just said, hey, we're coming home, or, sent a message and said I would like clean sheets, or, maybe a new carpet, or 300 count fucking wood planks. There's a young lady here that's been waiting for you for a few days now. She believes that, anyway, she likes scrambled eggs for breakfast. And only scrambled eggs for breakfast. You want to know what she wants for lunch? Every day. A sandwich with a single slice of cheese.
Scrambled eggs? Oh.
Who eats a sandwich with a single slice of cheese?
Oh no, but scrambled eggs would be weird for me. Never mind.
Beings are very particular. This is normal, methinks.
Did not eat our children.
We got a giggle fit.
We can hear it.
Okay, so you turn around, and sitting in the corner, a pile of books around her is Arcanist Melanie, the one who had greeted you at the council when you first arrived. She just looks at you all. It's nice for you to finally arrive.
Oh man, we had a hell of a trip.
Yeah, we did.
All right. I have very simple instructions for you. She starts closing all of the books and piling them all up. 1, I'm going to need your assistance bringing all of this back to the council. And 2, The only instruction I have is Dorus, very specific, prepare yourself. And
That is all the instruction.
That is all I am allowed to say. Prepare yourself.
That could be like, prepare for great feast, or prepare for riding wagon, or prepare for giant battle with dragon. We don't means
Do
nothing.
I need my swords?
You're going to a meeting. So I'm going to assume that answer is no.
You assume, so that's still in the realm of possibility.
I am to lead you to the council as soon as you arrive, should have been days ago, and tell you to prepare yourself.
We had to go to Phenovis for some reason. It's fine. We're back though.
I'm sure the
Got
council will
chased
be
by
very
monsters.
interested in that. Dorus, roll history.
Sorry.
What was the tavern owner's name?
Norald.
Norald.
Norald, do you have
16.
like a tablecloth or something that I could borrow?
Is this something that I should also have on the tables? Is the cloth for the things for the food? Because I've got to tell you, you know what's easier to clean than tablecloth? Table wood. No.
Or just a sheet is fine.
Ask for sheet, yes.
Anything really.
I will get you one of the old sheets. You're not taking my nice sheets because I paid a lot for those and they're just freshly laundered.
Don't worry, I'll return it.
Are we talking like 5 days return, or are we talking like you will be back shorter than 5 days return?
Hopefully tonight.
All right. So he walks into the back and comes out with a very threadbare sheet. It's fairly, it's seen better days.
I'm going to just start stacking the books into the sheet,
Oh, good idea. Okay.
and then I'm going to turn huge and then just carry it out.
Don't knock the header thing off of my door, okay? Big freaking lizards. Why does he get big? How does he do that? He's going to scratch up my floor with his claws.
Yes, but think of all the legends you will get from having him around here.
That's just true. I just need more stories, I guess. Oh, you owe me stories when you get back. Okay?
We have a great many of those.
Good, because that's going to be payment for me buffing out the scratches on the floor from your golden friend. So as you walk out and you begin following Melanie, it dawns on you, Dorus, that this is what your tutor or your what would you call it? Aramis,
Like the guy.
Aramis, the guy who taught you. That he used to tell you that whenever you were going in, like when you were giving a speech or when you were talking in front of the council or like lower members of the council and you were describing some of the research that you had done, or even like for a big test. That was always what he said, was prepare yourself. He had no words of wisdom ever except that.
Kind of like muses to himself out loud, and he's like, perhaps it is some sort of trial related to my training. I'm not sure. We will be doing when we get to this council.
Again, do I need my swords?
And you should keep them handy at all times, yes, but do not think specifically for this task.
Wonder if
So,
that blacksmith shop is even open.
so as you step out into the sun and you begin walking through the streets, you realize that it's like mid-afternoon, and my camera is definitely going to be fucking up. Cool. And like there's
Really
nobody out
video.
rushing around for lunch. There's nobody. The streets are busy, but not like midday busy. And the sun is lower on the horizon than it would be or was on Phenovis. So Melanie leads you up into Antora proper and into the wing that the council takes up. She is constantly telling you away not to knock her books around, ensure that the covers don't get bent or the pages don't get torn as you're shuffling around and trying to avoid people. But as soon as you arrive, she just points to her desk so you can drop your books off. And she leads you to a room that you have not seen yet. 2 great doors open, and within is a large chamber. Small table sits in the center with various items on top of it, including a satchel. It looks like some loose pages, some maps that are rolled up, and a couple of notebooks. And there are 5 chairs waiting for you. Though there are only 4 of you physically, there are 5 chairs waiting for you at this table. Off to the left are sitting 3 individuals that none of y'all are familiar with. However, they are well dressed in fine clothing and jewelry, and they're just sitting quietly off to the side in high-backed upholstered armchairs. As you take your seats, a few steps up, there is a large semicircle table. And sitting at the table are all 8 of the Severius Council representatives. The Severius representatives. Dorus, I need you to either roll perception or insight for this.
Yeah, I'll roll insight to see if I can sense, like... Yeah, I'm better at insight, but I'm not sure if I would, like, know this already or if I feel like it's some sort of test, like an exam or something.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 28.
28, what the fuck? As you all settle into your seats, Dorus, the first thing you notice is that not a single member of the council moves to cast a privacy field. Whereas generally in any kind of meeting, the first thing that is done is there is some kind of protective barrier around to ensure that nobody outside is listening. And you did not feel one as you entered. It very much looks like this would be a test. However, the air is tense and no familiarity is shown to you from even Aramis. The representatives are all trying to hide their exhaustion, but you see each and every one of them has deep set eyes with dark circles, bloodshot eyes, and even a few shaking hands as if they're trying to stay awake from caffeine only. The oppressive feel in this room is more suited to a trial than an academic briefing or a test. I don't know.
Have they been waiting and just sitting on Red Bull this entire time?
Well, I assume Melanie came back and like told them we were on our way or something, right? She got here before us, probably.
No,
Or
she walked with
messaged
you.
them or something.
Yeah, not that you saw. Not that you saw.
Damn, they are not going to be happy.
How long have you been sitting here?
They'll be so pissed.
So
I kind of hear Yahweh saying that, and I'm like, I gesture for him to like, keep down. Like just gesture people to sit down quietly if possible.
all right, so before I begin, is there anything that anybody is looking for? Is there anything that anybody's trying to perceive or insight? Doris, I'm gonna let your insight roll for a while.
Just a point of question: did we leave Kia somewhere, or did she leave us, or what happened to Kia?
She was on
Might
the
be with
ship
the-
with Soli Clone
Yeah,
to
Might
keep
be
Soli
with the
Clone
boat
safe.
people.
the boat people.
Gotcha.
Use another 3rd level spell slot to send them a message to. Just the telephone, it's fine.
You're sending Kea a message again?
Yeah. So they're not like sitting
right now.
above the
I'm just
lake
saying,
waiting
like,
for
you
us.
know,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no.
I'm curious. I want to do an investigation roll.
Okay.
I got a natural one. I was just trying to feel like, do I feel threatened, or is this place like kind of like suspicious?
I'm definitely
It's-
looking for threats.
It is odd. This is
Yeah.
not a situation any of you have been in. Dorus has been in a similar type of room with similar, not here in Entora, but
Yeah.
just, similar circumstances, but this is different. The three people on the left-hand side are an oddity, especially for a group that's representing all 8 sides of the octagon for Severius. But it is tense. It is just tense. So, I mean, take that as you will.
Okay.
I'm looking for threats, and I rolled a 14 for insight.
Okay. Insight. There doesn't seem to be anybody threatening you. Though,
Or just group in general.
if you were to just watching the body language of the council as they wait for everybody to settle in, if anybody looks threatened, it's them, but it could be exhaustion or overworking. You're not sure.
Can I use? Man, I'm gonna do it. I want to use True Seeing.
Look for that scribble.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn my 6th level spell slot because we're not supposed to be doing combat today. So I'm gonna use True Seeing, which gives me basically sight into the ethereal plane, allows me to notice like doors and secret doors and shit hidden by magic. Just because I like, obviously something's going on, and it's like I'm getting like some Star Wars like
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine vibes from this shit. So
as you're sitting down and you begin casting this spell, the person that you have not met yet stands up and immediately speaks the words for counterspell.
oh really?
However,
On a 6th level spell slot?
However, you notice that they don't do the full somatic movements for it. Dorus, you would notice this immediately. You assume the counterspell doesn't take, but Dorus, you notice that this person doesn't even complete the spell. So the person who stood up just kind of nods in everybody's direction. Please, do not cast spells while in this room. We're all trying to remain safe. Now,
As are we.
we have not met. I was in quite a predicament when you first arrived within Entora. My name is Senior Arcanist Cohen. First and foremost, were you all the ones responsible for the correction of the abjuration issues?
Is that thing below the city?
We were unaware of what was causing it.
There's like this giant chamber thing. I don't really understand it. Beneath the city or lake.
And it was infused with abjuration magics.
I just turned towards the others.
Yeah, well, many types of magics, but there is something ancient and very large, I think, housed down there still, as well as some unsavory characters that we dealt with.
Well, from me personally, I would like to say thank you for whatever it is that you did down there. I have been repaired or healed. My magic is now under my control. I would personally like to offer you a gift of appreciation from my own collection of scrolls. These cannot begin to show the gravity of your action, but please take them and know you have performed a great deed. He just kind of gestures to the satchel sitting on the table in front of you. And he just bows ever so slightly to everybody and then sits down as Senior Arcanist Aramis stands. Now, as he stands, he's got pages in his hand that he's just constantly like ruffling, as in a nervous tick almost. I have been in constant contact with the Octagon, Senior Arcanist Morgan Dorus, your trainer, and the Archival Office, and a vast majority of our research members. They have all worked tirelessly to decode the information you brought to us, as well as what others have gathered in the recent years. I created a summary of our findings for you there, and he just gestures to the table, to one of the books, one of the books that has the symbol of the Severius Octagon on the front. Within, you will find a map of the Weave with our current translations. It has been pieced together by your first-hand notes and the Severius' own findings in ancient writings. However, it is incomplete. There are runes which hold no known translation. We found reference to an object that could be used to read and manipulate these runes, but the writings are vague. And it seems this object was left in the care of he flips through a few pages, traveling protectors of Avenvon. Perhaps those that sing with Avenvon, or maybe the protectors of stone. It's very ancient and the writing is not familiar. The texts all seem to have a different way to refer to the ones who held this item or hold this item. Now, we have researchers out in the field searching for it, as it is something that is very important to us and to the research that we are now combining with your own efforts, of course. On to the next thing. Dorus, as he's talking, he seems like he has rehearsed this over and over and over again. It is almost as if he's reading a script. Now, Arcanist Aramis is the one who you spoke to before. He also is under Morgan. Just obviously just higher level than you are. However, there's a few things that he's doing that are incredibly familiar to you. The way that he holds the pages and just constantly flips through them is something that you saw Morgan do every single day. He takes a deep breath. On to one of the other subjects that you had brought to our attention, the dragons. There are multiple reliefs, art, and writings about dragons, which I'm sure that you all are aware of. We know they existed. We have seen bones, we have found scales, but never in the quantity which there was evidence of from the first ones. It is incredible to learn through your findings that our hypothesis was correct, that there were many more dragons than we ever found physical evidence of, not in writings or art. Now, the question I believe that you were all trying to deduce, and his eyes just kind of meet Soli's eyes for a moment, is what is it that they are requesting? What is it that these stories have been referring to, this light, to bring them back? And we believe the light itself is actually the weave being brought back to its original balance as it was created. Now his eyes, Dorus, you notice his eyes suddenly dart to his right or your left where those three are sitting. And he continues on. Now, this weave. We were unaware of such a thing in its design from what you have all described and within your notes, Dorus, we had a vague understanding that there was something that had brought magic to Avonvon, and that was the fall of the old one, or the first ones, and that was all that we had known previously. However, our understanding now is that the bounds of this weave have fractured. The one you described in your notes, this Geo-Invo, seems to be short-sighted and only wishes to make the weave as unstable as possible. Now, we have historic texts of this entropy god, and it seems fairly in line with what his worshippers have said in the past texts. Now, as long as the knots created by these anchors, I believe is the word that you used in your notes, and he flips through some more pages. As long as these knots created by these anchors are loosened enough, he will regain his place as a god among Avonvon. From what we were able to find, it seems counterintuitive to his nature to have the weave stable, which I assume is one of the reasons that magic has been so affected recently. It is the consensus of the council bodies, the Antoran representatives, the Thule leadership, and the Stemma emissary that we should meet with him at the Archipelago. An envoy has already been dispatched to give Geo-Invo a formal request for his presence. He looks over at the chairs again, takes a deep breath, and continues on. In your writings, you had mentioned one known as Takarlis. Now, we had not found Takarlis in any of our historical records, though there is reference to the fall of the ruby, and he just kind of gives Dorus a nod. In a great battle fought over the remains. Aramis flips through pages again and holds one up. A battle amidst the stars, where ruby light burst like a shattered glass, hanging in the skies. Us mere mortals cowered in fear as the shards hung in suspension, awaiting the wrath of Weejoss to fall upon us. Flashes of great magic burst forth for hours, until all settled into a small ruby glow. The dead could be heard screaming in terror as the window to the heavens closed. So this is a quote that we had found amongst older texts. We have deduced that this ruby glow was most likely Takarlis, and he had won this battle for the Shallows and the power of Weejoss. Now, it has been rumored for months that there is a new sect of worshippers arising throughout Ralios, sending prayers to the Keeper of the Dead. Now, he will also not be long to rise into godhood at this rate. However, he just kind of swallows and forces these next few words out. The benefits of his ascension seem to outweigh the negatives, if I am to understand your summary of the Shallows. If he is to ascend, then the souls that are trapped within the Shallows may move on. Now, flips through some more pages, just kind of nervously
This guy's nuts.
messing with the pages again.
This dude's lost his marbles.
This is also summarized in one of the journals in front of you. On to this masked one. Now, he seems to be something entirely different from the others. In the wake of reports coming from Cindercrest and Phoenix Fracture, It is our belief that this person and the powers that they hold may be able to assist those regions as they become more unstable. We are unaware how to contact him and would like your aid in doing so. Now, our histories of this masked one are nil. We have no written history about this person. We have no reference to the pages in your journals or to the depictions within the scrolls that you gave us to compare it to anything else that we have found. Now, we also understand that you have an injured member and would like to offer them sanctuary at the Octagon. She may heal and recover there, and we will ensure she has the best team of our psychologia professors and specialists, and is monitored at all times. Now, we also, and he just kind of glances at everybody around the table, and also the three in the chairs who are just sitting there quietly, require your attendance at the archipelago. You have first-hand knowledge of entropy that we believe to be invaluable. At this meeting, there will be representatives of the three great families. They will be offering their bid for your representation of their family and what they stand for. Entora originally wished to claim the variants as their own. However, many of the great families also claim your birth in various locations. Therefore, in the honor of the pact, they will each make an offer to you as a whole entity versus as individuals. And he just kind of takes a deep swallow. Nimu, as you are glancing around, trying to find
Nope, I'm hiding.
hidden objects,
Like under the table.
I know, just there you have been watching two scrying orbs. One of them is peering directly over, Arcanist Aramis's shoulder to look at what is in his hands, and also to look at you all. The other is sitting next to the three on the left who have not said anything, and is just observing what is going on.
So I could think then that he wanted to make it look like he was trying to stop the spell so that whoever's watching would make it look like he was trying to hover, is what I would think. So like he intentionally didn't finish the spell because he doesn't want the people watching to know that he's letting it go off.
Correct.
So this way maybe it looks like it was a mistake or whatever.
That would be a good deduction, yes.
And you said they're where exactly again?
So this room is vast. It's very much like a large like judge's chamber, almost like where you would go for a trial. You are sitting at a single table in the middle of this room, and you feel almost small with how vast this is. They are sitting on the left-hand side in three like really plush chairs, just sitting there straight backed, watching what is happening and just observing, it seems. The members of the Severius Octagon are sitting up on like a raised stage almost behind their own table, looking down on you all. And anytime one of them speaks, they stand to direct it at everybody.
And do I know anything about scrying orbs?
That you have been followed by many. Most of them have been.
I remember. I know that for sure. I just don't know magically if I know how they're made and if they can be destroyed.
I don't know.
Presumably, you could like dispel magic on it. If
Yeah.
You see it.
That would make sense, yes. We will be offering transport for the variants as well as your injured member and her escort to the Octagon. Tomorrow morning, we will be leaving first thing. 2 days prior to that?
You said there were 2 of these things?
Yes. Or 2 days after that, we will be making our way to the archipelago for the meeting with Entropy, as well as to hear the bids from the families for you all, for your attention and devotion. Now, is there any questions that you all have?
Wait, bids?
Yes, bids.
You're going to try and buy us?
Families are sorry. The families will try to buy us. Yes, they want our favor in our journey. Presumably with those we have been fighting against.
I mean, I never remember putting a for sale sign on my face.
Same here.
When he talks about Entropy as like an entity, is he meaning one of those guys?
He's
Like, who's
talking
he
about
meaning
Geo
by?
Invo.
Okay. So he wants us to, just so I clarify for myself, he wants us to bring Geo Envil to a meeting with the families and the council in the archipelago. Is that
So
what he
they
wants?
are already sending an envoy to Geo Invo because they know that he's in where was it?
The Silent Rent?
The Silent Rent. Yeah, they know he's in the Silent Rent. So they're already sending, because it's very close to Mantle Crest and the Octagon. So they're already sending people out there to invite him to this meeting.
I questioned him about the envoy that they sent. I'm like, have you already opened a dialogue with this entity, or are you sending this envoy to their deaths unknowingly?
We have been in contact with some of his representatives along the wall by Mantle Keep, as we had sent many members to investigate the going on that has been a threat to everybody else. And he seemed as if he would be willing to speak further on the issues. And now with these greater threats coming about, we would like to have some kind of open dialogue with him. However, being as it is with the pact, we must all the families and the Octagon, meet in a neutral location of the archipelago to have this meeting.
Yeah, I fear you are being deceived, and that the entropy will attempt to destroy everyone who attends this meeting.
I think it's clearly a trap.
I want to try and do this 5th level dispel magic on both of those scrying orbs.
Okay. What are
There was kind of hears what Nemu's doing maybe, and just like talks over it, like continues talking to like cover up what he's doing. He's grilling the council about, if you actually read my notes, you would know that these beings do not wish for any sort of dealings or, treaties or those sorts of things. They only wish to destabilize the weave. And I just keep going on and on about how I don't believe that they're really trying to make a
Your stealth is really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was close. That was very close.
It was on a 3 for a split second there. I was like, oh.
So as you begin talking and Nemu is reaching over to the books, and you hear him begin whispering this spell, almost as if he's talking to himself. You do see Cohen's eyes very quickly look over to Nemu and then just turn back to you. And then he kind of drifts his eyes over to the 3 that are sitting in the chairs to see if they notice. But nobody seems to know. Now, well, being that we are the ones who are sending the invitation, there couldn't be a trap. This was our idea. This was our initiative, and not Entropy's own. It is an organized event, which is against his entirety of being. Roll stealth again.
Do you have like defenses?
At the archipelago? Absolutely.
All right, 24.
We will ensure the entire room is full of an anti-magic shell, and protections will be put in place.
Yeah, fat chance considering this room's been spied on. Yeah, somehow I don't trust you guys' magic very much.
Yeah, Dorus would know that it's very odd to have any meeting without those kinds of protections in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a political thing. The 3 guys are definitely have a higher like importance in this meeting than it seems, because the council's being all shady about it too. So Doris continues to argue for a little bit, and then finally he's like, I will trust in the council's decision, of course, but I still caution against trusting this entropy. There's no reason from what we have seen so far that he would ever try to make some sort of deal and stick by it. He's tried to destroy our work at every turn, and seems intent on destabilizing the weave as much as possible.
Who's the leader of this group?
From what you can tell, it is. Wow, I scrolled way far down.
You mean of the council guys or of the?
Yeah, it seems Aramis is the one that is doing most of the talking.
Is
So-
it like a higher up in this room?
They all seem to be on the same level. Everybody that's sitting at the council at the Severius table, they all seem to be at the same level. But with his familiarity with Dorus, because he is so at this moment the representative for the necromancy school of Severius Octagon. So that probably is why he is the one speaking.
It's kind of like high-ranking members, like one member from each college.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, it is.
Cool.
All right, so then I can like deduce that these guys potentially would not have seen these scrying things here, because they would have had to have used true seeing in order to even be able to see them, or some sort of magical, or maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but either way, like somebody
Doris,
got in here
if
and
I could
put stuff on
meta
to
for
spy on them.
if I could meta for just a second, Doris would think that they purposely allowed those scrying things to happen during this.
Or were coerced into it, right? Potentially.
Well, like I said, it's all political, so they have a reason to let them happen. I think is why they're doing it.
Okay.
I feel like the head guy for divination would definitely have like a natural true sight.
Oh, they definitely know what's going on way more than they're letting on. Yeah.
Well, but if that were the case, then they would have a better chance of seeing what I was doing, which they didn't. I was able to dispel both of them and see them without them taking any action, at least, which makes me think, maybe they didn't know.
Well, yeah, you're like not under their. I mean, yeah, we're kind of working for them, but you're not like, they're not in charge of you. I can't tell you not to do it. I mean, like, they ask you not to do it, I guess. But
Well, I mean, he made a gesture to, going back to the beginning when I cast True Seeing, he made a gesture and intentionally failed casting something to counterspell my True Sight, which means he probably knew what I was trying to do, which means he wanted me to see it. And if he wanted me to see it, then, going back to the very beginning when these guys all looked like they've been sucking down Mountain Dew for 5 straight days, So they've been on Red Bull and Monsters for the last 5 days.
Well, aren't these guys like all level 5 wizards in actuality?
They wouldn't be as high as you guys. But they would still be around 8, probably. 8, 9.
I don't think they would have to all be wizards either. They could be any type of magic user.
Yeah, and they're not even all arcanists. There's some that are archivists, and I mean, they're not all adept magic users.
I'm just thinking, like, they can't be that all powerful because we just unlocked the weave to increase the level cap, basically.
Exactly. It's very true. But the way of the Octagon, the way of this various Octagon is that you choose a school, and that is your school, and that is what you study. If you study it for 100 years, you're really fucking good at it.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything, I guess, to let Darus know until, I don't know if he would have seen what I was doing. I think he did because he tried to cover it. Yeah, so then I won't say anything, and I'll talk to him to see if after this meeting, if we want to approach them and let him know what was done. I don't know if I want to bring it up right away.
Just doing my due diligence, since Nice doesn't know anything going on. 20 insight, as I'm just like residing in my pendant within Nemu. Can I track along Nemu's feelings? I know I'm not allowed to like go into his dreams anymore, but I'm just trying to like mind probe him to see if I can understand his actions as I'm seeing him doing these things.
Yeah, I would assume, first off, you would hear the whispers greater than anybody else of his spells. And you may have some kind of familiarity. It's not a complicated spell. And you would have noticed him get tense. Or tense up just a little bit as he was focusing on 2 areas. But they weren't a person. They were just, random areas of the room itself. And you would have also felt the magic when he's cast that spell as being part of him. So, and just being the caretaker that Nice is, I would assume you would be able to glean all of the emotions that went on with that. And just being able to read the room, you'd probably have a good idea of what he's doing and why.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Our understanding is that you are staying at the Leaky Fig. I want to assure you that the injured member of your group is safe here within the Severius Council. Their caretaker is staying with them to ensure their safety and start their therapies and their healing. Because of the tenuous situation with her, we would prefer if she stayed here. You can send messages to her, all you like, but just for the safety and security of this person, I do not wish them to be released from our care. Now, I will have a group of the Severius protectors come and gather you first thing at first light. Be sure to prepare yourself, prepare your things, gather your notes, and anything else that you are in need of, as we will be heading out to the Octagon first thing. Yeah, you need to prepare yourselves for your slaves. So once again,
we're not going to go to the Octagon with them, are we? We're going to go to the Archipelago.
They're taking you to the Octagon first, and then
okay.
there will be 2 days after that and then you're going to go to the Archipelago.
Got it.
Is there anything that you need of us? All the summary of all of our notes, as well as combining some of Dorus, your note-taking and the research that you brought us, as well as some of the other things that other members of your party have offered to us, are all there within the journals in front of you. And please be sure to take them all and review them tonight if you have a chance.
You mentioned some runes you couldn't decipher.
Yes.
Should I look at those?
Yes, they are in the 3rd book, the gold one.
I will yoink that.
Okay. That is our translation of the notes from the weave and the drawings that Dorus has provided, as well as some of the various things that many researchers over the last many days have been diving into.
I should like to have a conversation with you shortly outside of here afterwards, if possible, to bring you up to date on the last few days of our activities.
I will make myself free for you. As he starts...
Doris, stands up and, starts to shuffle together the papers and books and stuff.
Okay.
Scrolls.
As he begins to put all of his papers in order, you hear him begin mumbling out loud. And he has this... You knew Morgan to be a kind of an eccentric. He had his own filing system in his head. And as he would be organizing papers, he would be filing it in his head of where it would be going later, but he would also be muttering these words. And you see Aramis doing these exact same things as he's as he's gathering all of his things. It's a little bit odd. So you all gather your things. You have been clearly dismissed from the room. And Melanie is awaiting outside as you open the doors. It is my understanding that you wish to speak with Senior Arcanist Aramis privately. Is this a private meeting with you as a whole, or just you, Dorus?
Yes, the group. We only wish to update him on the activities of the past few days.
As you wish, I will show you to a
Whole
study. So she takes you to a study, and the first thing you notice is a fucking disaster. Everything is everywhere. There are pages. There are loose pages just thrown about the floors. There are scrolls perilously stacked up. You don't even know how they're staying. Books are just these toppling towers. The desk is completely covered with just random papers and scrolls and maps and books and just so much shit everywhere. There's even some of the things that you had brought, the samples, just laid out in various areas. Some of them are being used as paperweights. Just trying to keep everything in order. Make yourself at home. Good luck finding a place to sit.
I forgot to mention, but on the way out of the room, I would like to have tried to clock the 3 people that were on the side. What I'm looking for is, are they all wearing the same type of clothing, or they have different colors on? Do they have any emblems or markings on them that would denote, are they part of one of the houses? Are they part of a government crew? Are they...
Roll
Try to clock what they are just by looking at them.
Or perception?
It's the same. 21.
One of them is clearly in the colors of the Antoran family. You can probably assume it is the way they're dressed and the way they're acting, probably the advisor to the to the leaders of the family here. Another one is from the Thule family, with the floral depiction on They're like on a large pin on their chest. The third one, however, though dressed really, really well, doesn't seem to be wearing the mark of any family. They almost look like a, with your insight even, they almost look to be like trying to exude the same air as the other two and act like them, but it's just a little bit off. They're not as formally relaxed. They don't seem as comfortable in this type of situation. And the main thing you notice is one of their eyes is not the same species as the other eye.
So he has like a weird pupil, like a snake pupil or a cat pupil or something.
Yeah. So you all have a few minutes within Aramis's study.
Yeah, I relay this to the group that I think those were probably members from some high up political circle in the families.
Great. You mean our new owners?
We just cut off the video feed to them.
Is there a pen in this room? This study?
There's pens, there's pencils, there's
Quills.
quills.
I'm gonna mage hand and try to like balance the pen with two of the fingers and hold a piece of paper in the other and write one-handed in front of Nemu. Are there more secrets here?
I mean, I'd be
Good
able to tell.
Question.
So my spell lasts for an hour, so.
Okay. As you look around, hidden, secret, like invisible things, right? Underneath one of these like little cushioned benches that's just stacked high with all kinds of crap. Nobody really noticed the fact that there doesn't seem to be anything under this chair except for a few loose papers scattered on the floor. There's been perfect places to stack books. Nemu, however, notices that there is a invisible chest, almost like a suitcase, underneath. Yeah, it's not quite a chest. It's like a really nice suitcase. Invisible.
If anyone starts to like look like they're snooping too deeply or like they're trying to take something, maybe Doris would notice and snap at them not to do it. But if you're just looking around, he's not going to stop you.
Yeah, I would just write back. Yes, but I think it's personal items. I'd write back to you.
Mage hand would make a thumbs up.
Yeah, I think Nemu would just assume like that's just probably personal, whatever. And I assume that was the house's spying. I think it was somebody from Geo or one of those. What's the bad one?
Last one.
No, not the maybe the masked one, but the other one as well, where they were trying to say let him ascend.
To Carlos.
To Carlos. I assume they were from one of those two, because otherwise, why would they? Whatever.
I was just nervous if they put cameras in one room, they'd put them in another.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, if so, I would hope they're lower item level or level, because I'm quickly burning through my high level spells here.
Yeah, Doris would question Nemu about like, what was it you were trying to do? I was unsure what was happening, but I was trying to cover for you.
There were scrying orbs in the room, like somebody was spying on them, and they were up in the corners, and they were talking about to Carlos and letting him ascend. And I thought, well, maybe he's got eyes in here, and maybe he's like oppressing and has these people under their thumb. I mean, it looked like they haven't slept in days. So I figured maybe they were all being, oppressed by this guy. So I wanted to get rid of the eyeballs.
And Doris looks kind of puzzled by that, and he's like, very strange for them to forego their usual functions of privacy and security.
Well,
such
one
as
of them
this.
tried to counterspell me, but he stopped. It's like he stopped. He could have counterspelled it, but he stopped. So I think he wanted me to do it, which makes me think they were, in trouble to some extent. And maybe it was one of the families that forced them to put those up there for Takarlis. I'm not sure. I'm sure one of them's working with him. It would make sense.
Wondering if Aramis will tell us something additional when we have him alone.
Well, it's up to you
It
as
did
to whether or
seem-
not you want to tell him that we found those scrying orbs and I neutralized them for him.
I will question
wanna-
him about the magics being allowed, but nothing specific, all right?
Hey, this is you. You know this guy. You do what you need to do.
I am not convinced that he was... Obviously, he was willing, but I'm not convinced he desired to give that exact speech as he did.
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's the reason why he's been doing cocaine for the last week,
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
24/7.
You think that's
The
why
council
they're all
has-
scared?
Council has many
Probably.
mysterious habits, let's say.
They were all being watched to make sure the speech went well. Who knows what would happen if it went wrong?
Maybe not that it went well, but that it went the correct direction for whomever was watching.
We didn't give him an ending though.
I almost want to applaud when he gets here to say nice performance,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem natural still.
No,
It did
definitely
seem
not.
like they were acting.
Could I tell if they wanted to run, if they could?
It's hard to tell with people like that. Kind of like gathering all the information. I will pose a question to everybody. Who is the god that you all know does scry?
Well, the one that was scrying on us for,
That would be GeoInvo.
yeah, GeoInvo.
So GeoInvo, you know for a fact he uses scrying. Now,
Wasn't the Dream guy also scrying on us?
he did.
Oh,
It's the dude, I never remember his name.
Takarlis.
I don't like Takarlis.
Yeah, so
I
Takarlis.
thought Takarlis was the Shallows guy.
Yeah. Oh, Imrosi.
Imrosi.
You will notice that he did not bring up Imrosi.
Yeah, I think he was talking in code dust. That's why he brought up the names that he did.
Imrosi can like
Imrosi's
spy on you through your dreams.
But then Emrosi has proven himself to be neutral. The others he spoke of are definitely not. At least from what we have seen.
Yeah, it's possible those two are working together too. To Carlos and the other one.
GeoInvo
Yep,
or
GeoInvo.
Entropy or whatever.
I mean, it makes sense if Entropy and the fledgling Death God were working together.
I like how no one can remember any of these names.
I remember the names, I just can never remember which one is which. Even she has
Yeah.
a fucking cheat sheet.
I absolutely have a cheat sheet.
So, so knowing what I know about my life in the shallows, and knowing one of the weirder things was people not moving on, and this conversation about an entropy god being in league with a death wannabe god, is there any sort of like memory that might become dislodged, or any sort of theory I could start wondering?
I actually don't have your notes up for the first time in many, many sessions because I have all of Doros's stuff open. Doros.
I've been looking around. I've more or less uncovered what I think I am allowed to know of Geoimbo, and then obviously I know Takarlis really well. I'm just starting to try to piece them together, and I think Austin's knowledge of the world is lacking to a point that Nice would probably be at to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Do you have specific questions before I just start spouting information?
I think my question would be like, it seemed like most of the spirits in the shallows, from my take of reading my backstory, was no one knew why people couldn't move on. And so now I'm thinking maybe it was a partnership with a god of entropy, which would be involved in that transition of life to death.
That would be very on brand. If
Okay.
if he told Geoinvo, or if he told to Carlos, I will aid you. Like, this would be in between all of those years, right, where these guys couldn't come onto Avonvon. Then his deal would have included something insane that would have broken the usual norm or the usual pattern, which would be the souls can't move. Because for entropy, that feeds him. So this could be a long-standing thing.
So Carlos wants to rule over his own kingdom in the underworld.
He wants to
And-
become the spectral of the spirit, I think is what I wrote down anyway.
Yes, but overlord of the underworld. And then this other dude, Geoinvo, wants to send everyone there. If I'm getting this correct.
I mean,
I don't really know for sure what entropy is, but I guess that would make sense.
chaos.
I mean, his whole deal is blood, so
Yeah, it's chaos. Entropy is literally just chaos.
Yeah. Disorder, randomness, or uncertainty.
And it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the manifestation of that in a spiritual form is just like the act of change is what feeds a god of entropy.
Yeah.
Things should not stay steady. Like a god of entropy wants something to be different at all times.
At all times.
Yeah, so it'd be like Loki.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, be a good example of that.
And the great thing about the Shallows is there are always new people coming in, and new fear being introduced, and new uncertainty being introduced. A great place.
All right. Well, I don't think I talked to the party now because I know that guy's going to come in. But
there's always 3 gods involved in a plot. Where's the third one?
that's right.
Where is the third
Well-
one? I dropped a hint.
God.
I did drop a
Carlos
hint.
is not one of the seats yet. He wants to be.
Right.
But
And
you get
do we know
but
that?
you get a seat by asking another seat, right?
Yeah, do we from the way we've treated it, I feel like Geoinvo is already whatever of entropy.
Yes, he is the god of entropy, but he hasn't been able to influence the world as much because of how the weave was. His people are the ones that originally started fucking with it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Doris is still pretty sure that this is some sort of double cross and everyone's gonna die.
I mean, that's fair. Anyway, there was a hint that was dropped about the third god because there's always 3. I'll just leave it at that. Now,
I feel like he has to do something with the Drig.
no, it was in the room. Technically, as y'all were leaving the room.
Oh, the third person, maybe? He did talk about the masked one, too, but I don't really know what his motives are yet, I don't think.
I didn't really think of the mask one as like
Oh, maybe the third guy was the masked one.
Can I?
was the C.
I guess just because you're dropping a lot of hints, can I do a history check to recall if in my life any of the gods had different type eyes?
I won't even make you do a history check on that because that would be something that, as all of these things are starting to bloom in your head, it would be something that you would remember. Or that would stick out. None of the gods that you were aware of had different eyes.
Okay, so that's a dead end, or I'm stupid.
Well, isn't the masked one's whole deal is manipulating souls? And that's entropy, basically.
Yeah, I got no memories of this masked one, so you guys are on your own on that one.
Well, you would have heard to him. You can now, like with everything that's happened, you would know that the masked one, who they refer to as the masked one, is also.
It was also the Hag's Master, we believe.
Yeah. It was the Hag's Master. And I hate his name, and I wish I could redo it.
Do it. We don't remember anyway.
Yeah, but it's in Austin's notes. Gil Saj.
Oh. I remember reading about that guy.
Yeah. Gil Saj. The sisters refer to the masked one as Gil Saj.
A god can go by many names.
Indeed, they can.
A god can. However, the masked one,
It's a douche.
not yet a god.
I mean, any being can go by any name.
This is true. Alright, one more cracker and then we'll...
Yeah, that'd be my vote then, just based off of what I understand. Is the third one's Gil Saj.
Alright. So, as you're kind of like bouncing back and forth all these theories, Senior Arcanist Aramis arrives, and he's got a very neat and organized stack of papers and books in his arms. And he just looks around and just kind of like tosses them in a pile. After all the work he did to keep them organized, he just tosses them in a pile in front of one of the bookshelves. All right.
I just make a comment, I like gesturing towards the pile, and he's like, I see you have been hard at work while we were away.
There has not been much sleep for any of the Severius Octagon members.
Yeah, you guys need to maybe lay off the coffee, you know? What's been the reason for not sleeping?
The variants? Yes. The research that was brought to our attention and the experiences that you all had.
Did you think we were dead?
No. Well, we at least knew Dorus was not dead. And the fears and the concerns that you all had brought to us led us down multiple lines of research at once, and we needed to get it done quickly because we had a meeting to be had with you. So that is what was done. We also called in any researchers that were in the field and any of our archaeologists to, as quickly as possible, get to a place where they could send us any pertinent information that they had found while they were out. It was a lot of work.
So you planned for this meeting 5 days ago, and you still haven't slept in 5 days?
That we've been doing the work ever since then. Since we last saw you 7 days ago, I believe. And the research will continue after we leave here as well. There are many things to be concerned about, and we want to be well prepared for all of the options we will have open to us.
I mean, we're doing all the hard work and we're still getting sleep. I'm just saying. Like, you can lay down for a nap every now and then. It's fine.
No, power naps are had.
There's a couple good inns in the city. You guys could, like, go there, get a massage. You know,
I'm sure they have comfy beds here somewhere.
comfy bed. Yeah, good comfy bed.
We have very nice accommodations here when we visit.
Okay.
Probably have like an extra dimensional space that they sleep in or something.
Or they probably just have rooms so they can be they have access at all times.
They're peasant level 8s. They don't have extra dimensional anything.
I'm pretty sure level 8s can't cast demi-plane.
True. Might take them 5 days, but you know, they'd eventually get it. So you wish to speak with me? What can I help you with?
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that we dealt with a underwater tower of sorts where there was several nefarious creatures and things. I think we destroyed it. I tried to cause a quake that would weaken the structure. But what I look over at Yahweh. What was the creature in the bottom there that you looked through the door at?
Oh, it was a death baby.
Death baby, apparently.
I don't
ring
know
any
how
bells
else
for
to
you.
describe it.
He takes a deep sigh. Deep sigh. Exhaustedly walks over to his desk, moves a bunch of stuff around, grabs an open journal and a pencil that's been broken into like a stub. Yes, could you please describe it in full? He's just like, fuck, there's more.
I'm gonna do a very poor job at describing it.
Okay.
I'm just like, you know, it was this color. The lighting was kind of dark. It might have been this color.
Yeah, I kind of described the battle with the hags as well, and the creatures that they were like trying to throw at us. There's like a fear one, a hate one, and I forget what the third one was, but there's like
And
3
one of
different
them
creatures they were
escaped.
throwing at us. Then yeah, one of the hags escaped us. But didn't we banish one or something?
It
Yeah.
came back and we killed it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think I took, or one of us took like something's heart. It was like a stone heart. I'll show him that if we can.
Uh-huh.
Just trying to tell him what all we did.
I kind of like feel bad for doing stuff and then telling you, because it seems like now you're not even going to get any sleep at all.
I have to sleep because I have to navigate or assist in navigating us to the Octagon. So, Death Baby.
You should get like one of those memory crystals the valley people have.
You know, it has been ages since I've been into Mason Hall. Perhaps I should visit. However, if I did have access
I think
to
they gave
any
me a
of that,
blank one. I just never use it.
I could like
would have filled
record
up-
the memory of me peeking through the door, maybe.
Right. So, Death Baby hags. Now, so you required her soul back, or you acquired her soul back.
Well, but do I have that bag? I don't remember if I took it or someone else
Nemo
did.
had it. The bag
Okay.
of skin.
Yeah, it's right here.
Well, I guess now we
Just been
truly
carrying
understand.
that around town. No questions asked.
Yeah. I guess we truly understand who was behind the murders within Antora now. And they were doing so to feed this death baby. Cool. Okay. And the death baby and the hags are working for this masked one.
Do we what was the masked one's real name?
Eel Saj.
Yes. Jill Sage.
Okay, I'll whatever that name is. Sausage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask if he's ever heard that name. And I want to judge his reaction.
Roll insight.
I pipe in that say that the creature's name is Apogee. That matters at all.
Oh, fuck.
11? Okay.
Fucking rolled a shitty. Finally rolled a crappy.
Doesn't seem to be any at the name the name Apogee, he just kind of tilts his head a little bit. And then you say Gilsaj, and he just kind of briefly pauses while he's writing. But nothing overt that you can tell.
Have you heard that name before?
It you know, it doesn't ring any bells.
Huh. Okay.
I will add this to the list of this ever-growing epic story that has been woven. Now, I do find it hard to believe, and he just kind of looks around briefly, that this masked one would have had any interest in doing something as petty as arranging murders in a small or in a city. However, I will write down all of your concerns, and this will be added to the line of inquiry.
Can I insight check him again, because I feel like he's defending him now. He's defending Masked One.
Go for it.
27.
He is defending the masked one, but in a very familiar air to you of rehearsed words. These are almost like when you are within the Severius Octagon and somebody tries to speak against the Octagon, the way they do things, the how you gain ranks or whatever it is. There's like these scripted lines that you'll hear the leadership or the teachers or the professors or even fellow students say. And this very much has the exact same feeling as any time you ever heard anybody defend the Octagon or the Severius Council or anything.
Wow.
It's just a automatic these are the things that you say, and you let the thing you let it go. If it happens again, that's when you address it. But
Do I notice that?
roll
Like
insight.
he's like, gosh.
It's like that tone, like, oh, it can't be that bad.
Yeah. It's like when you work for Walmart. You can't talk. You can't talk about. You can't talk about. What are they called? The. Not the gangs.
Yeah, I got a natural one.
Oh my god! Yeah, you have no
Oh
idea.
no.
Unions. Yeah, if you work for Walmart,
Yeah.
you can't talk about unions.
Yeah, in their video when you're hired, they tell
Yeah.
you that they talk to you about the evils of unions.
Yeah.
And you have these
Pretty
scripted
great.
responses that you say when people start talking about unions. It's very scripted.
I assume we're all standing still, right?
Unless
Except me.
anybody found a place on the floor to sit.
Oh, I probably
Yeah,
made
there's,
a
like, no
pile of
seats
books
to
a
sit in.
chair.
I'll just sit on the floor. Yes.
I'm like a nervous cat. I only appear when I feel like I trust everyone in the room.
You don't trust Artemis? Or not
No.
Artemis, I'm sorry. Aramis?
I do not trust him now.
You don't either?
No,
I don't trust anyone in this room except
I
my
think there's a lot of
friends.
information being withheld.
And not because he lost trust. I just don't trust innately. That's my first instinct.
Yeah,
I-
I'm having a hard time trusting this council.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm just very mistrustful, especially with power.
Bruce like makes a
Okay.
show of like going over to the desk and like leaning or half sitting on the edge of the desk kind of thing, like looking exhausted basically. And he's like, I've only been gone from the council for a short time, but I already forgot how common deception is and expected it is. Would appreciate if you could give us your personal opinion and not the council's word on this subject.
Yeah,
Do
honestly.
you actually think first of all, do you actually think this meeting will go as planned, or is the information we have given you has said everything against that this will go well?
When you have gods at play, those who wish to be gods at play, who've already established a foothold, should you entreat with them? Or should you try to destroy them?
Destroy them, obviously. I mean, if they're bad.
This world was already devastated by mortals wishing to be gods one time, and if we follow in their path again, I fear the same will happen. I think it is best to balance the weave as best we can and prevent greed and hatred from taking over, as it seems to be coming to pass.
He just kind of exhaustedly and almost too familiar for Aramis puts a hand on your shoulder and pats it. Son, we have a lot to do in the next 3 days. Let an old man rest.
Man, I'm so close to mentioning the orbs now.
He definitely, just like meta again, he definitely knows what those were, and he just can't or won't say.
I think everyone in that room knew what was
Everyone knew what's going on in that room except for us.
For sure.
Yeah, I just say, as you wish. We will continue on our journey as we must.
So
He
I'm
gets up
gonna
and prepares to leave.
whisper in Dorus's giant ass ear. I'm gonna ask if he wants to bring up those scrying orbs.
I'll if he does that quietly enough that it's not like out loud, I'll just
Yeah.
stop as I'm like walking out and be like, also, and say it to Aramis, I think it was. Yeah, Aramis. I'll say, also, what outside parties were watching that meeting that weren't in the room. It's like hinting at it.
He just kind of looks up at you. There was nobody that wasn't mentioned in the introductions. That was in the room.
AKA, he's bullshitting us. But you gotta assume, though, like, if we even mentioned that, like, you got, like, he can't be an idiot. That's got to set off alarm bells in his head. Like, how would they, why would they ask that question even?
It's more like we want him to know that we know. Thing.
Yeah, okay.
Go. Prepare yourself.
Well, we'll see you in the morning.
Slaughter the entire council now because they're fucking. We're gonna come back and everybody's gonna be dead.
I forget what it's called, but there's a really good DM TikTok where the DMs shows like a time lapse of him like writing characters, and then he's like, and he like thinks of these inner relationships at play, and he's like summarizing, and then they'll uncover this, and then it just fast forwards to the party coming into the room, and he's like, you meet this elf, and he describes the way he looks, and this human, and he looks like this, and then one of the guys like, I cut off their heads.
Yes. Yes. And you're just like, throw pages.
I mean, solely at the start of the session said,
Perfect.
She's ready for fireballs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is a non-combat day, people. Non-combat day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not combat if you just incinerate them with the one turn.
Yeah, it was combat for us, not for them, really.
God damn it.
No initiative needed.
We know they
Yeah,
we know they burn counter spells, so
No,
Doris
she
just
didn't. She
kinda
never finished it.
scoffs.
that's right. That's right.
Doris just kind of scoffs and like continues walking out of the room.
How does this party like to do with like? I don't want to intrude on any other player's journey, but Austin saw some things that Nice didn't see. Do we talk in that sort of way, or is that a little too like stepping on each other's toes, sort of a thing?
We obviously metagame.
Mm-hmm.
I do all the time because I'm, you know, like
Yeah.
I find sometimes it's necessary to keep games going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I
I
will
like
freely
having
offer
the
up
out of game
information.
talk. I like having the out of game talk between like we're all on the same page, but our characters are not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like to me then, in the spirit of sharing, and maybe everyone else picked up on this and I'm just getting new to it, but it seems like the dude we've been talking to is the representative of a necromancy school, right? And then it seems like they're behaving like someone else in the necromancy school, which would make me think that who they are is dead and the other person is living in them.
I feel
I
like
think it's probably more of like a control
Necromancer-
thing.
I feel like necromancer to necromancer is like, that's not that bad.
Right. I'm not saying it's that bad. It just seems like Aramis is one name and the other one I'm spacing on. I think it's an
Morgan.
Morgan. It seems like Aramis is dead and Morgan now lives in Aramis, is what it seems like to me.
I think they're all dead inside.
Yeah, I think it's more of the puppet strings. Morgan wasn't in the room, right? He's back at the council, where in the south part of the continent or whatever. And so he may have been like controlling him or like guiding him some way.
So who did we just
Is my guess?
Did we just finish talking to Aramis? Or did we finish talking to Morgan?
Is this a good time for me to come out and say during True Sight, I saw Aramis as a Tabaxi?
Whoa.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
No.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Whoa.
I don't know what that means, but I got a reaction, so I'm glad it
Was that like a note that you slipped him or something?
It was something I didn't want to bring it up in the council. I didn't know when to bring it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want how do you bring up oh, you're not who you, because I saw everything as they were, right? Not so, and I don't really, how do you address that when you're
Did
you know
Nemu recognize the Tabaxi?
Yeah, would I have? No. Yeah, there you go.
No, it's my boss.
It was
I
a
mean,
male.
it's the
It
big
was-
boss of the necromancy school, most likely.
It was a male tabaxi.
Can we cast
And
True
that's why
Sight?
she was dropping hints of like he's doing mannerisms that I've seen
So,
Morgan do.
does that mean
before.
your necromancy school is ruled by one person who has just like 20 bodies they jump
There's
into
a
whenever they need to?
so the council is literally a council of 8 people, and the council
No,
member
is
is the
it?
head
no,
of
no,
that
no,
school.
I'm saying like for your necromancy
all-
school, is every teacher you met just your leader?
Yeah, the
I mean, if I
necromancy school
sat
is just
down
a
and
hive mind.
sat down and think about it for a second, maybe. I
That'd
don't
be
know.
amazing. That'd be so great.
In
No,
which
I didn't
case,
see anybody else in different
I, as a
bodies.
studying necromancer, would wonder at what level do I get added to the collective?
Bones to
I
the
mean-
bone pile.
For
I
sure.
wonder if Melanie, the desk lady, is my boss too.
I mean, all I saw was that one that was in a different form. So everybody
No.
else looked
Yeah,
normal.
I would say, obviously we can't talk about this in front of him, so we have this conversation, I guess, after all of this.
Oh, I had
yeah.
already assumed that y'all left because he dismissed you pretty heavily.
Yeah. So that's what I would say as we're walking out. Well, that's weird. That guy's actually a tabaxi.
No way.
I mean, that's what he looked like to me with True Sight.
We need to go
Ugh.
back to Mason Hollow, and you need to cast True Sight on Seville.
Yes.
I mean, I just need to sleep again because that's an expensive spell.
Again,
As
yeah.
people are talking, because this is all above Nice's head, I'm just going to try to start straightening books into piles and organizing.
Oh, y'all are out of the room.
We're leaving, yeah. I would stop
Yeah.
at the front desk though and tell Melanie that we'll be right back with the other Soli. We need to bring her over here.
She's here.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Hops into the room.
Her and Kaya are
So I guess the
already
boat's
here.
back, right?
Y'all haven't seen them, but they are here. Kaya told Nimu that she was with the council. And they told you also that they were there.
Got it. Quite efficient.
I mean, we've been gone for 5 days, so
That was a really weird encounter, Darus. I think your council is a little compromised.
Well, as I said, they're at the whims of many political leanings and influences, unfortunately.
that's my problem with them.
I mean, is there a way we can make them not at those whims? Can we just like get rid of all these houses? Just like push them aside?
The houses control most of the lands throughout this entire lane, so I'm not sure that we could destroy the houses, but
Sure you
no,
can. A
as
little
lo-
bit of fire. Soli's got fire.
they are massive though.
Anything
They
will
have,
burn.
I'm ready.
they have literal armies as well.
Nemo, are you calling for anarchy?
In this case,
I'm
I mean,
pretty
maybe
sure
a little
that
bit of Tim's coming out. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that would have
Absolutely.
the god of entropy.
Yeah. Plot twist.
Wait,
The owl becomes the god.
Nemo, your face fell off.
Big, just like
No, it would be gross.
Well, what would my experience have been with the one that, because I was in Thule, right?
Yeah, Thule, because you were so close to Cindercrest Isle, and you weren't really close to any of the pretty places, the touristy traps, right? Like the closest to you would have been the Jewel of Thule. Stentley would have been okay, but you were way up here in Mirage. Lornley would have had people there, but I would assume if you would have gone to Lornley, your history, or what you would have seen of the Thules would have been terrible. Whereas this is the furthest reach from their home seat, which is all the way down south. These people are going to be power hungry. They're going to feel like they are the gods amongst the mortals as they are in charge of the city. They are, demand a lot of taxes because they don't get the money for the beauty of the rest of the lands under the Thule family. But Lornley would have been as beautiful as they could make it. But they would have been pretty much assholes. The family itself. And the guards, of course, it would have trickled down, so the guards would have been assholes. Just wouldn't have been a great place. Now, if you were to ever have visited the Jewel of Thule, it would have been a completely different experience.
Well, what I remember of the houses is they were a bunch of dicks. So, I don't know.
They always tried to seize control of the nearby town.
Yes,
that I
I
used to
mean,
live
we
by.
don't need those guys, right?
Oh yeah, we don't. I don't trust them.
Yeah, so like I think when we're already pretty damn strong, but I think when we become strong enough, we can just like, I can walk in there and just take them over. Just sweep them aside. This is my house now.
I think we need to be careful. No matter what deal they might give us, I don't think we should take it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, wait, and what is this deal? Like what are they how are they buying why are they buying us? I'm confused. I mean, I don't think that's really a good thing.
S-
They want control, and I
Yeah.
don't want to give them to them.
Yes, they want us to be on their sides, but as we grow more powerful. And
Okay, fuck those guys.
I don't know the etiquette here. I think they're buying your favor. They're not buying you, if I'm understanding.
correct.
I mean, it's one
Although
and the same.
some
right?
would argue in political courts they are the same. Yes.
Yes, but
Well-
if you make a friend of one, you might make an enemy of others.
that is true.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I haven't been here very long, but it seems like you're all like bought by this council that we just met with. But it also seems like we don't give a shit what they say. So
I have nothing
We
to
are
do with
not
the
bought
council.
by them.
Me
maybe
neither.
free money.
Well, we agreed to continue research at their behest. We all agreed to that the first time we came here. I'm
Well,
the only
you
one that's
did, at
actually
least.
a council member. No, they offered us money for our research continuing, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to employ us to do things, then I'll do stuff. But
Yeah.
I'd like to.
That was the idea going forward. Is we would continue to turn over our research and we would gain the support and the resources that the council can provide.
Doris, what's your passive perception?
Nat 15.
EOA?
9.
Soli?
Oh my gosh. Mine's is not good. It's 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper something to Tim. Because his is 19.
What?
Mine's
As we're
16.
walking back in the city or whatever.
You would catch
I
some
don't
of
know if
this.
that matters.
You would catch some of this. I'll whisper you.
I mean, I continue talking to the party as we were walking. Like, we can break the contract and not hand any further research to the council if this is what you wish. But
I mean, we never signed a contract saying that we had to turn stuff over.
yeah, I think it was a verbal agreement. Yes.
Hey guys. I don't know
What
if
is
you've
it?
noticed this, but everybody's kind of talking about us as we're walking by,
Wait,
talking
what?
about us as heroes. You kind of
Are people?
pay attention.
Doris looks up, like kind of popping out of the conversation, and
Use
like,
those
are
giant
people
ears of
actually
yours,
looking
Ruth.
at us, watching us?
Oh, yeah.
But it's like they're calling us heroes and people that saved magic and stuff. Like it's not in a negative way.
Well, I know we raised Cone through what we did, at least. Even if we didn't do it directly.
Well, that tells me that the houses probably see us more as a threat more than anything. That's probably why they want to buy us off.
As you are exiting
I'm
Upper and Tora. Now, Upper and Tora, these are proper people. These are proper people. They're not going to come up to you and say anything.
They're not those fake, terrible people.
They're not those
proper
Yeah,
people.
they're proper people. They're pinky ups, right? They'll whisper behind their hands. Those are these types of people. However, as you begin going down to the Leaky Fig in those types of areas, it'll probably get a little bit more boisterous. However, just as you exit through the divider, quote unquote, this line of homes, a small, about 10-year-old boy rushes up. And he takes a couple deep breaths as if he's been running. The variants, and he like bows really deeply, super practiced, and he hands forward a scroll. It is my honor to present this scroll from the Antora family.
Doris reaches out with his trunk and grabs it.
The bids
Thank
have already
you.
started.
And he
Was
starts
not
back.
expecting this so soon.
He starts backing up, bowing as he's walking away, as if y'all are royalty, and then turns away and runs to probably go do something else.
Strange
So yes,
messenger.
huh?
With a strange messenger. I hand the scroll over to Sully or whoever's closest to me.
I bet you didn't
messengers
expect to
get
become
tips?
Yeah. I bet you didn't.
Yeah, he wants to let somebody else read it.
Nice.
I don't think anyone knows me.
Well, if you, I mean, you'll be included in the stories.
So
They might just not carve you into stone as you have no real body.
That's true.
Someone's carving you into stone?
No, but like we could make a statue that looks like you.
Well, this helps me circle back. You were saying earlier someone was too boxy. How do you tell if someone's too boxy? Is it-
Tabaxi. It's like a cat race.
Yeah.
They look like cat people, small cat people.
Oh, why
But,
didn't
like-
you just say he's a cat?
Because there's different types of cats.
There is?
I mean,
You got the Leonin.
there's Leonin, there's Tabaxi, there's what's the other one?
There's a panther race, isn't there?
I mean, it's Avon Vaughn.
There's every race.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tried looking in the crowd and point out at Tabaxi if there's
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure there would be Tabaxi.
the townspeople.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. Thank you.
So Sully, are you gonna wait to open this, or are you opening it now?
I'll open it. I'm curious.
It's in this beautiful scroll work, like gilded with gold around the symbol of Antora on both top corners, and it just states, to the variants of Avonvon, current residents in Antora, please represent this at the Antoran Central Bank for a favor of our appreciation.
Oh,
And that is
Does cashing this in mean that we're in favor of them?
That means they'll expect something if we accept it.
yeah, it's a bribe. I'm not taking this.
Yes, we must be careful what we accept from here
yeah,
on.
I'm not. Yeah, no.
I hope
Just sit on the
grabbing
paper. We'll-
was not an
Okay.
acceptance.
if we never go to claim it, it's not magical or anything. I don't believe.
No, you didn't
I
feel
hope
anything.
not.
That's kind of weird, guys. We're like celebrities and stuff. People like know us.
We can.
Doris grunts like audibly. He's like, doesn't like to be known as famous.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
don't-
why they were acting weird around us, the council.
We can go back to the town outskirts and show that one dude who's boss.
That bard.
That's right. We sure could.
Oh yeah, people will definitely come to a show if you have one now.
That's true. But now the stakes are high. If I fuck up, then it might screw our reputation.
That is true.
But you're
Okay.
so much better now. You've been practicing much.
That's true. I am way better.
So as you make your way through the mid-level of Antora, multiple times people will come up. Are you the variants? Are you them? We've been hearing stories about you for days. Will you sign this for me? and she pulls out like this newsletter, and it is a story of your battle on the lake. On the lake, yeah, on Sussin Lake. The great monsters that you fought. And it has, like a over large and monstrous image of the creature with the different tentacles that you did fight. Would you all mind signing this?
Oh, sure. A fan.
Thank you so much. There's one of you is missing. There was rumors that you had a ghost friend.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Don't
Nice.
say anything.
We have many friends of many types.
Yes.
Nice
from
is a little
all-
shy.
Oh, the sailors insisted that he was amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
At least we know where the stories are coming from then.
Thank you so much. And she
Did
just like
the
clutches
sailors
it.
say that after they were freaking out.
Of course. She like runs off. You will get papers shoved in your face to sign. Multiple copies of this like newsletter that went out. However, if you were to take a moment to really look at it, you'll see that it's on Entora like watermarked paper.
Of
So
course it is.
yeah, of course it is. But you are able to make it back into Mid-Entora, accosted multiple times, amongst whispers of there are that's the variants. That's them. We have our own town heroes. And I will say that EOA, you're able to grab your swords. If there's anything else that everybody wishes to do, we can continue on for next week, which I believe is Soli's last week for a month.
Oh, yeah. I have an update regarding that.
Oh, do you?
It's been moved.
Oh, okay. So we do have you.
Yeah, so we got the 9th and the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So two more
So
weeks
we have
after
2 more
this.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Because I was gonna have you stay with your sister clone for a while.
Yeah.
And it would be for protection. So whenever that comes up, that will be
Okay,
what happens.
Sounds good.
So anyway, if there's anything, we're getting really close. So EOA, you're able to get your swords from Doyle?
Was it the moose guy?
Yeah, Doyle the Moose. And then I don't remember if anybody else had anything ordered.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
I was crafting something, but that was at my own time.
Yeah.
Emo
But-
probably wants to buy some more instruments.
I mean, you have something that you may be able to afford any instrument you ever could wish for.
Oh, if we go back to that.
What I just tell them who I am.
No, the note from the
paper.
bank for the bank.
It's a big pile of money if we want it, but
Yeah.
it comes with more than strings, I would say.
I don't really know how to feel about being a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't like being seen with
I don't know.
attention.
I just ignore it, really. I mean, it's it's nice being known, but
Yeah,
it doesn't change anything. We still have stuff to do.
that is true.
So just if there's anything that y'all wish to purchase, do before you end up leaving town for the following morning. Did you want to go see Cuppy?
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to
I was
spill the
gonna
fucking
suggest
tea.
we go have a tea shop adventure real quick before we all for
Yeah.
dinner or whatever.
Oh,
But I
no,
want to spend
we're
some
gonna
time
be
reading those
crowded.
scrolls too, seeing what those scrolls were.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
just going to be a mountain of fans just looking inside from the windows.
Oh,
Oh,
for
no.
sure. Y'all are being followed.
Oh my god.
And so once you get to Noble's Brew tea room, Cuppy jumps out from behind the counter, grabs you in a quick hug,
yeah.
and then shuts the door to the fucking tea room.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cuppy. I don't
There's a
like
couple
how
of
this is
customers still in there,
happening.
and he just kind of looks around. Nobody say a word. Okay? These are my personal friends, and if you disturb their tea time, I will ban you. Thank you. So Dorus, you find a comfortable seat in the corner. I am going to send you what these spells are.
He's gonna be like the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. No tea for you.
Exactly. Okay. Now that I have you all to myself, is it true? Did y'all fight a monster on the lake?
Well, under it too.
Yeah.
Truly. So, the sailors, they were sure that you were dead, and they wanted to make sure that you had some kind of legacy. He's like making all the, like different types of teas as he's talking. They wanted to make sure that you had some kind of legacy because, and you know, they put the name of their ship in there. But that's crazy. Y'all have literally been labeled like the heroes of Entora.
Wow.
I mean, yes and no.
But this means that you can pretty much go anywhere. Have you talked to the Entoran family yet? Because if you do, I can almost assure you that they will give you their favor. And then, you're part of the family.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think we want to be a part of the family.
Yeah, I
Like, what sort of strings are attached here?
You just represent them at all times.
I don't like that.
So the feats that they will sponsor you, and you'll get pretty much anything you could ever ask for. And not only that, but they will be your sponsor. So when you go out and do things, it will be the variants sponsored by Entora. However, I would hold out for Thule because I've heard that their destinations are incredible.
I just do like a loud scoff.
Yeah, their destinations might be incredible, but they're kind of dicks. I grew up in that area.
Oh.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
Well, you know, if cold is your thing, there's always Eos.
Do we have to do anything with the family? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really think they're. I mean, we're doing just fine on our own. Like, we don't really need a group of rich people to.
Yeah, my
Okay.
my
You
only
know.
my only family will be the Bailey Fields, and and a Kinsen. That's it.
Okay. So here's the deal. If you don't sign up with one of the families, even if you do sign up with one of the families, let's say you do go with EOS. If you are sponsored by EOS, which by the way, military, top notch. You need weapons of destruction, they have the best weapons of destruction.
Ooh, I like weapons of destruction.
That is who they are. Now, let's say you go with EOS. Well, the Thule and the Entora family, Stemma is not very powerful, nor is Inseva. And the Quarios, they just do their own thing. However, the Thule and the Entora family will be sure to try and rise up their own group that looks better than you do. And then they will make sure that anything that happens on their lands is then given to their group that they sponsored. If you don't have anybody sponsoring you, then they are going to be trying to trip you every single time you step into their lands. You want potions,
Yeah, but
they're
like
going to be double the price. If you
What
want
if we
armor,
just send like a peace treaty between all of them?
Yeah, can we remain neutral? Like we can be neutral, right?
how long have y'all all lived on Rallios?
I mean,
Oh, I'm only like 13, so not very long.
I lived 25 years, but I still with my little community. Like I don't have that much exposure to the politics.
But here's my thing, right? Is if they all don't like each other, and we do sign a contract or whatever with, I don't know, let's say the Ansiva family, then the other ones aren't going to want us in their land either. So I mean, either way, it's kind of a
Yeah.
losing proposition.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose for us. I mean,
Well, there are benefits to going with one of the smaller families if you do choose to, maybe talk with Inseva They
Oh, and Seva, yeah, it kind of looked like an Siva.
they may not have the military might of Eos or the cash infusions of Entora or the beauty and the potions and things that you'll get from Thule, but
Loud scoff again.
I'm so sorry.
What about Stemma? I don't know a whole lot about them.
I don't think anybody really knows much about them.
Oh, okay.
They don't. They just everybody pretty much assumes that Stemma is kind of ruled by the Severius Octagon because that's where they are stationed. And you can't have a group like the Severius Council in your country without them having mass influence.
I think the council view would be that they are neutral in all of these political arenas. And I must say, as such, I am precluded from personally benefiting from such an agreement, although if the party wishes, I cannot stop you.
I don't know. I'm not super excited about.
Yeah, me neither.
Although weapons of destruction sound pretty awesome. We might need those.
Nemu, has some dark force entered your brain?
No, I just think, if we're going to be fighting gods and demigods and masked ones and, all sorts of crazy shit, we should probably have more than a flute.
Yeah.
And if you end up in Eos, you can put a good word in for me, and I can open an iced tea shop.
Oh, I do like that. I do like cold drinks.
I mean, knowing what I know, what I can see of the map right here of Eos, how do they have a lot of resources in general? It just looks like everything's super mountainous.
They have the greatest armies in Ralios. The majority, unless they're, lame or have physical issues or, mental issues, the entirety of everybody who lives around Lost Felgrand and Eos, that entire mountain range, everyone is trained in the military. Everyone. It's said that they have tactics that nobody could even understand.
And they've taken over everything then.
I don't know.
Weird. Seems like there's two easy pickings just north of them.
I mean, you hear stories, right? Like they're waiting for like some great war and they've been training for generations to save the land or maybe kill everybody. It just depends on who you talk to.
Reminds me of the warriors from Wolfden. They were more than ready to be training and ready to fight the war.
Yep.
For sure, Viking Sparta.
There is something of great importance to EOA in Eos, though.
It's not the cold.
I
It is
agree.
not the cold.
How would that work for you? Would you just kind of fall over and stop moving? All of a sudden, your fucking movement speed is cut by it. It's like 10 feet.
Yeah,
Someone
I-
carry me.
I just went to the zoo yesterday, and that was exactly the crocodiles. They were just like, their eyes were above water, and they didn't move at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny watching lizards and stuff get cold because
They move so slow.
Yeah, they like. Oh, I know ours or mine when it comes out of like in the morning when it's been like in the 60s in her enclosure. She just kind of like very slowly moves up to her spot to heat up, just so she can get some fucking warmth. It's so funny.
They're
I'm
hilarious.
definitely going to be like wearing layers and layers upon layers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you gotta assume too when like you're slow and like easy pickings, right? So you're super aware of. She just stares me down the entire time.
Well, she's a judgmental bitch.
She is super judgmental.
I think the only thing that was on my mind before we closed up was who grabbed the gift from the council. They put like a thing of scrolls or a scroll.
Yeah, I have the scrolls and I have most of the books. I think Yahweh grabbed one as well.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely be flipping through that before we head off to bed.
Okay. As Cuppy is trying to glean as much information from you solely as possible about your adventures, he would be flabbergasted at you traveling to another world. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, you start flipping through it, and the runes that they had started to decipher, the only ones that they were able to break apart were the very rudimentary runes. Very similar to like the hold rune or fire or like speech or like very simple runes. The runes that they have picked apart from writings that they've found, and also like y'all's firsthand accounts that Dorus had written about and like tried to write out what he saw on the weave itself, many of them are Vareki-ish, but some of them are much more intricate. And there are notes in there about like kind of the summary of what they had found in reference to this object. And it's said to be able to be used by multiple people, but it was like large enough to hide away in secret, or it was small enough to hide away in secret, but it wasn't like a ring or something tiny.
Is this like, can I tell they're referring to the artifact that was stolen?
It very well could be. Very, very well could be. Everything points to that.
And they couldn't tell where the artifact was originally hidden at.
No, all they could tell about that, like they just have all these different references to stone, singing, travel, and protectors. And then like various versions of those same words.
I know they mentioned that they sent researchers out into the field to discover the meanings. Would I be able to think that they went to the Vareki?
You've met a few of them in the area, but it seems the majority of the research came from EOS libraries in Lost Felgrund is where most of the research came from. But they had no leads whatsoever to where this object could be. And every time they did think that they were going, they had found a lead, it would just dead end. Either the writings had been destroyed or like literally whole portions of information were just gone. Almost as if it was like a magically erased information chunk just removed.
Did I ever tell you guys that Savell posed as a researcher when visiting the Vareki?
That entire party was somewhat unsavory in their dealings. I'm not certain that such a thing would be unusual for them.
I know we had like many researchers over the time I was there.
I would imagine it probably was cover for some other nefarious thing they were up to. But we can ask it. What was it? A council researcher or some other party of research?
It was Savell, the tabaxi that betrayed me.
No, I know, but when she was posing as researcher, was she posing as council researcher or like private researcher or one of the families, or who was she supposedly working for?
Would I know that?
Remember that?
She would have. probably said she was from Severius, the Octagon, because it would have given her more credence.
So, what I'm thinking is, once we get to the main council conclave, we could ask if they ever had actual research teams in that area.
Okay.
Just as a side note, yeah.
And then there was another tabaxi in the council room.
Yes, this was some sort of trickery by my mentor. Not certain if he was actually there or if projecting himself through Hermes, or did you still see him when we were in the council chambers with just him? Maybe.
Yeah, it was more like he was wearing it. You're muted in Sue.
Yeah, it was more like well, the feeling I originally thought of until before everything else was mentioned was he was just trying to keep his identity secret for some reason. Was more kind of the feeling that I got from it. I don't know why.
It could be a distant control sort of spell that Morgan was using on Aramis to give that speech so pointedly indirect. But that's why I'm asking, did he still appear as a cat to you when we were in his chambers?
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was a hidden suitcase too.
Well, I'm not surprised of hidden suitcase. There's probably many hidden things all over the council. This is not unusual, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is there some like message here that cats are like messengers for chaos?
No, y'all both put them in your backstories. Y'all both
I don't
put
have,
Tabaxi in your backstories.
I don't have like a good, I didn't write what he looks like sort of thing for him.
Yeah.
But I would describe him and see if the description of Morgan matches what Nemu saw. Did he
Spot on.
look like this? Blah 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 blah. Yes, that was definitely him.
Didn't Jax also have a tabaxi?
I think it was a Tabaxi.
Well, he was a tabaxi like in some of the dreams and stuff or whatever, right?
No, the person who found him was a Tabaxi. I forgot about that. So y'all all had Tabaxi in your backstories.
Oh.
Well, it's because
There's
there's not a lot of
definitely-
animal races to choose from. I get it.
I mean, like, it's probably because, like, at the start of the campaign, we're limiting ourselves to the races that are already in D&D.
Yeah. And it's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just not a lot that were there. So it's like, what do you choose? Like, Leonin, Frog, whatever the frogs are.
There's actually a ton of them.
The frogs are weird. The frogs have to stay wet. It's weird. It's
But
just
cats
weird.
cats being agents of chaos is kind of funny, though.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, it works out. Well, and it creates like these great moments where like Nemu says Tabaxi and Ioe's like, fuck! And Dorus is just like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Doris is not really surprised that the council would do something like that.
yeah, for sure.
But I would like to pontificate for a moment and just be like, if we purportedly actually have this meeting, the envoy is not assaulted and destroyed on the invite, and then we actually make it to the archipelago and the meeting is actually happening with no fighting or anything, you think we would see Jax there? He did leave with
I
the
don't
masked
know.
one, I believe, yes?
Yeah, something like that.
I will admit it will be difficult to hold my shield steady.
I mean, it's kind of an enemy, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical that we will get that far without something going awry.
It's going to be exciting. I've got
Yeah,
2 sessions.
I imagine that the invite envoy is gonna get like either murdered or like brain worm controlled or something. You know, something weird's gonna happen with them, and then they're gonna show up at the meeting like, oh yeah, everything's fine, but they're actually like evil now. Some shit like
I
that's
fully
gonna go down.
expect everything to go to shit at this meeting.
I'll be surprised if we actually make it to the meeting and nothing's happened yet, to be honest.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all are going to be like right next to the Silent Rent. So
Well,
We'll see.
isn't... Okay, so we're going to the place next to the Silent Rent, then we're going back up to the archipelago.
the main reason they are going to the Severius, the Octagon, their home, is because they need to drop off Soli's sister.
Are we going by like teleport or by ship?
Oh, I thought we were leaving her here. I get it now.
Yeah. By elemental powered ship.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
Which nothing can go wrong when you're flying thousands of feet in the air.
Oh, yeah, I
Airship
love it.
time.
I love it.
Let's go, White Dragon.
The dragons aren't back yet. I keep waiting. And like everything collapse and the dragons are just like, hey, we're home.
Okay, fine, Gloomstalkers.
Gloomstalkers. I mean, I love aerial battles. They're one of my favorites. So we'll see. And you have gotten warned multiple times to prepare yourselves. So
I always fly.
yeah. You and Nemu can both fly and we'll be okay.
And I can turn into a rock.
Somebody
Yep.
has Featherfall too, right?
I
I
do.
think Sully does.
What's going on with your monitor? Oh. Anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
we will
What?
reconvene next week
Yes.
and go for a flight. And then let me know if there's anything else that y'all need to do in town before you leave. You've got plenty of time. But first thing in the morning, you will be met with heavily armored people with the Severius badge on their chest to escort you. So anyway, that's it.
Cool.